Hello, lovies. Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin. This is the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, Scunthorpe, lived Cinderella. She lived with her wicked stepmother. Ooh, she were nasty. So nasty, she'd been headhunted to be the new Home Secretary. Cinderella's life was a misery. All she did all day was sweep, sweep, sweep them floors. Girl needs to get herself a dustbuster. And all of a sudden the land was full of excitement. The prince was holding a ball. You see, he needed to find a wife, so he invited every eligible lady in the area. Ooh, the prince were handsome. And rich too. So rich he could afford to turn heating on. But sadly, the only person in the whole of Scunthorpe not to get an invite was Cinderella. And on the night of the ball, as she watched everybody leaving for the palace in their finery, she wondered, will I ever go to ball? Then out of nowhere came a flash of glitter and sparkle. It was a fairy godmother promising to send Cinderella to the ball after all. With one wave of her magic wand, she turned Cinderella's rags into a glittering ball gown, and she turned an old pumpkin into a carriage, which is handy, because the trains were on strike, and the only way she was going to get from A to B was with magic. As Cinderella swept into the ballroom, the only person in the room the prince could see was her. He made a beeline for her, asked her if she'd like to dance. He looked at her and said, "Fair maiden, can I take thee into my arms?" She said, "Back up, Princey. This ain't Weatherspoons on Friday night, and these undercrackers are staying up." And as the orchestra reached their crescendo, the prince looked down and said, "I think I love you. Will you live with me in perpetuity?" She said, "Hang on a minute, Princey. I thought we'd be living here." Oh, but sadly, lovies, it wasn't meant to be. Cinderella realised they'd never be compatible. How could she marry a man who doesn't put a Scotch egg on his buffet? In the end, she had to come clean. "Listen, Princey, if you'd asked me half an hour ago, I might have said yes. But since then, Dandini's slipped into my DMs and said he'll take me to the Premier Inn in Cleethorpes. I'm not going to turn that down, am I?" So Cinderella lived happily ever after in Cleethorpes with Dandini. Oh, and don't worry about the prince. He lived happily ever after too. He went on Tinterweb and met a wife using one of them online dating apps. Tinderella! I love a happy ending. Happy Christmas, lovies!